Welcome, everyone, to our next episode of our amazing Chesapeake Film Festival podcast. I'm incredibly excited today to be in wonderful company with Monda Raquel Webb, the one and only Monda. Monda is my right-hand person. She keeps me in line. She's our vice president of the Chesapeake Film Festival. She's a board member. She's an amazing filmmaker. Gosh, you're involved with so much, and I have a lot of questions I'd like to ask you. First off, would you mind introducing yourself? Tell us, where are you from originally, and what do you do? What do you do for a living? Why are you a filmmaker? What's going on with you these days?
Oh my goodness. Do we got 3 hours?
We do, but we'll make it 3 hours.
I was so excited to be here with a peer, with a friend, with a like-minded, beautiful human being. So, Irene, thank you. And Dave, thanks for the platform. Appreciate it. Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Monda Raquel Webb. I am a storyteller, and I was born, believe it or not, in Charleston, West Virginia. I was a campus baby. Both of my parents attended West Virginia State Institute in Kanawha County. So yeah, I've come a ways. And by the time I got to Maryland, by the time Maryland became my home, I had lived in 5 states easily by the time I was 11 because my parents had divorced. So I was like run around and hang out with dad, and mom was here in Maryland. And I would go every summer to Georgia and Florida to visit my grandmother and great grandmother. So I figured like being born in 1968 when all hell was breaking loose with civil rights, with the assassinations of Kennedy and King, like the very essence that made up that time period, I feel as if there's been a resurgence now, right? And so, but as a storyteller, I embrace all of that. And most importantly for me, it's the love, like that love can overcome. And so I have a small production company called Little Known Stories. And the primary purpose is to be able to tell those little known stories that are buried in the deep recesses of history's pages, bring them to light, and primarily through a woman's lens. I
I
want to be
love
able to tell. Thank you. Yeah. And it's organic. Like, I really want to be able to tell the stories of people we know. Irene, our mamas, our aunties, our grandmoms, the people who are salt of the earth and who like made this nation, made this world. You don't see a lot of that in Hollywood. You got a lot of the tentpole movies, Fast and Furious 36.
Oh, yeah.
Thousand iteration of Star Wars, but it's okay. This is what we're here for, the small independent filmmaker who tells these stories that matter.
That was
So,
such a
hey.
powerful introduction. Gosh, thank you, Monda. That's so amazing. So, let me ask you, I want to start with,
Uh-huh.
what was your path to storytelling? Like, how did you kind of make your way and navigate your way as a creative?
Okay. That's we talk about what Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken.
One of my favorite poems.
My road here has been extremely non-traditional, and I came out the womb probably talking. I drove my mom crazy, and so she told me in an early age that books were my best friend. So I started reading somewhere around 3, and I fell in love with literature. As her only child, I loved to be able to escape to other worlds. Like, I'm reading Jane Austen trying to speak with, like, what I consider as a British accent, right? Like Little Women and, I would read it and yeah, so at any rate, but yes, so I love literature and I know I told stories because my grandmother's best friend would say, Monda comes out here, she tells all these little lies, because she started making stuff up. I don't know whether I was or not, but I know at an early age, from toddler on, I have been telling stories. And with literature being my first love, film became my second love. And there are 2 different mediums. With literature and poetry and prose, you've got all this real estate, and with screenwriting and films, you don't. So you have to be a little bit more disciplined. But the impact that storytelling can have for those who are reading it or who are viewing it is immeasurable. And so I truly believe that's why I was put on this earth, to tell these stories that are going to uplift, they're going to educate, they're going to entertain, they're going to make you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
So I really saw in college, I thought I wanted to be an actress. I was like, "I wanna be an actress." My professor, I took a class. I went to school in Rhode Island, and I took a class on theater, and she told me that I would be a fine actress if I didn't have such a Southern accent. So I retreated, and I did not I majored in broadcast journalism, so I kinda went down that path, but it wasn't until 20 years later, until I was 40 actually, which is 17 years ago, do the math, that I decided that this is what I am meant to do, and I am going to do it. But instead, it was from behind the scenes with regard to, my role. So I, produced my direct and produced my first short, Zoo Voca Show. So we're now in our
Love
10-year
that.
anniversary of Zoo. It's still on the film festival circuit.
That's
I don't
amazing.
know how, but I just believe it's such a relatable thing
Mhm.
and a movie that really looks to uplift humanity. That it is still resonating with people around the world. Decided that, I wasn't going to allow anyone to shape how I thought about myself, how I looked at myself, that I have to believe what's in here, what's in the gut area, and if it wasn't for her saying what she said, I probably would have never looked to pursue, a career in writing, directing, and producing. I would have been on the other side of things.
That's incredible. You sound a lot like me. That's kind of why I went to graduate school. I realized very quickly that I wanted to be, because I did some acting, and it just wasn't, it was okay, but it wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't fulfilling, and I'm trying to figure out what is it, because I love storytelling. I love to be a creative, but why is this not aligning? And then in graduate school, I realized I want to be behind the scenes. I want to be helping to make it all possible, putting the building blocks together, learning the business side, building
Mhm,
relationships.
mhm.
That is all so important, so I got much more interested in doing behind the camera and behind the scenes type stuff. So it's, yeah, we definitely align there. Can you tell
Yeah.
me about maybe some films early on that have influenced you?
Hmm. Okay, okay. Early on, I would say The Way We Were
Mm. Hmm. Love it.
had an impact. Joy Luck Club,
Powerful.
films like Eve's Bayou,
Mm.
Daughters of the Dust, Love Jones, Love and Basketball. And when for Zoo, um, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. You can help. This happened when you're after your 50s. And it is so important. The movie that Spielberg did, about Nazi Germany and the Jews.
Yeah, gosh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Like, that was, like, one of the most influential.
Wow.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah,
Since
why
this
don't
is
this is
live,
a
I'm
raw,
gonna
yeah, he'll edit this
well,
this part out.
I'm gonna
That's driving me crazy. What is the name of that? It's on the tip of my tongue.
and it was so powerful.
Oh my gosh.
Schindler's List.
Thank you. Gosh.
Okay.
Thank you.
I should have, like, written it down. Okay, so one of the movies that most influenced me, especially when it came to Zoo Show, my first film, is Schindler's List, directed by Steven Spielberg. And the artistry in which he directed that film is something that, when I saw it, it just resonated in my soul. And I remember, Irene, I was freelancing for the at Washington Afro American, so I was going to write a review, and I was there with other journalists. And after the credits rolled, I was sitting next to another journalist, tears rolling. We just hugged
Wow.
one another. He's a Jewish guy, kind, and it was just the shared experience of pain, and sadness about something in history that, just was allowed to fester and grow into something just super horrific. And so, but I felt something and I learned something. And I said to myself, whatever I do, I want it to have this kind of impact.
Love
Yeah.
that. What a great vehicle to do that. It like lit a fire under you, right? You're like,
Yes.
That's it. This is what I want to do. Like, this is why I want to." I agree with you. Stories, we can all relate. We all have stories, and it just to get reactions from people. That's what I'm always fascinated by. I like to sit back and watch people take in a story. Like when we're at the film festival in October, I'm going to be watching audience members to see how they react to certain films and stories. And there's a vulnerability even when you're watching a film. You have to let yourself just be open, and you're like in a zone. It's such a beautiful journey, and it's a beautiful moment that you're in. I want to say it's an escape, but a lot of them are reality based, and it's just when you can relate, there's something so powerful in that. So I love that these films have had such influence on you, as a storyteller yourself. So on that note, please talk to us about some of the incredible films that you have made. that are near and dear to your heart. I'd like for you to maybe pick like 2 or 3 films and talk about them, and then where people can see these films and
Okay.
why you made them.
Okay. So the first film that I've been referring to is Zoo Volker Show. Volker Show is German for human zoo. And I come across a photo of a little African girl in a human zoo in Brussels, Belgium, 1958, at the World's Fair. It was 1958, and the theme of the fair was a new world view, a new humanism, and it was the first World's Fair after the Cold War. So every country's touting the type of technological advances they made, and but yet there's a human zoo. You've got humans on display.
Ugh,
You can't tell me in 1955 people in Belgium didn't know who Africans were. And so, I just had a knee-jerk reaction to it, and, when I saw the photo, and I said to myself, "I didn't know anything about human zoos." I didn't learn in the classroom, and that's probably on purpose. So, I think I wanna do my best to educate people about this part of our history and to do it from the point of view of a little girl. And so the theme of the film is Let's All Be Human. And it focuses on a little German girl on her birthday who her mom is taking her to the World's Fair, specifically to this exhibition, this human exhibition, and the little African girl whose mom is preparing her to the extent that she can for what she's about to experience inside of a fence.
mm,
So, yeah, but, like I said, I'm all about love, and so I introduce it, but I also look to problem solve that if we could have, as adults, the type of pure acceptance of other people that children do. They don't know color, they don't know, I mean, they're taught racism, we're taught to hate.
correct,
All of the bad actor stuff that happens is as a result of being taught, right?
correct.
And so I am really proud of the little film that could. I actually, and a lot of people don't know this, I let my house go into foreclosure so I could afford to do it. And I walked away from it. I walked away from a home I had been in for 10 years in order to get money to get the film made. I just thought it would have more lasting impact, right? So that's Zoo Volker Show. And it's on YouTube now. I don't have a formal distribution for it, but if you look it up, Zoo Volker Show, you can see it. There's also some behind the scenes. So you can get an idea of what, we experienced over those 2 days of shooting.
Can you spell the film, the title? Can you spell that for people?
Yes, it's Zoo and Volker Show, which is VOLKERSCHAU, Zoo Volker Show. Thank you. And my second film is a film about homelessness disguised as a film about pet sitters. So a really quirky pet sitter, does some strange things when she's pet sitting for other people's pets, but strange but good. But really, it is her way of overcoming homelessness. And I wanted people to think about homelessness as something that we should all have empathy for. And now they're saying the unhoused, right? But that it's more, people may think, oh, they're all just crazy or they all have, mental problems but no, the person next door could become unhoused. And even many of us are just one paycheck away from not having a place to live. And so an Oxford study it was a Princeton study that showed that when people thought about homeless people, they looked at them as objects, something you just walk by, and not feel anything for it. So I wanted to change the narrative
Mhm,
on
yeah.
how we perceive homelessness. And then my latest film is called Mother Knows Best. It's currently on the film, and my apologies. You can see Poot Sitter on YouTube as well.
I've seen both of those films. Zoovoca
You can
Show
see.
is so powerful. I've seen it a couple times. My jaw dropped. Like, I just was like, yeah, it's incredible. And then, okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, it's fine. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy. I'm a big fan of your work as well.
Oh, thank you.
So Mother Knows Best is about and it will be screened at Chesapeake Film Festival upcoming October 10th through 12th. So everyone come on out and enjoy. It's about a bitter widowed um, Italian mom whose son gets engaged to a Jewish doctor and she loses her bleep. And so with this particular story, I wanted to take a look at belief systems, at
Mm,
identity, and there are and the skeletons that many of us carry
Mm.
And so with this particular story, I wanted to take a look at why this woman was the way she was, what made her so sad and so dead set about things being a certain way. Basically, she wanted her Italian son to marry an Italian woman and have some Italian grandbabies. And so we understand, we take a brief look at her mom and where the belief system may have come from. So yeah, I think it's an interesting short. So we'll find out who wins in the end. Does mother really know best?
You know who wins at the end? I haven't seen the film, but in my humble opinion, whoever is living their authentic self and makes their own decisions of what they want to do, whether that gets supported by the family or not, that person wins in the end. They're the ones that know best. Maybe it is.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We don't always have happy endings,
You're
Irene.
exactly right. Maybe it isn't. You're totally right on that. And speaking of maybe not having happy endings, can you talk to us about some of the challenges that you have faced throughout your career? And it can be anything, anything at all, from making a film, from being told you can't do something, simply identifying as a woman, right? So what are some challenges and pitfalls that you have faced, throughout your storytelling career?
I would say more generically, as an independent filmmaker,
Mhm.
that we have challenges with access to industry players that can make things happen, right? Whether it's getting your film distributed, whether it's even getting it made, executed, right? Or exploited. Like, what does that look like? And so we often have to pave our own way. So the lack of access to industry players and the lack of resources, quite frankly, there are people who will say, don't use your own money to make a film. And then those people are waiting years and years and years to get things done because they're waiting for someone to to finance their films. So I've been of the mindset, well, up until that time, yes, I've got a feature sitting on a shelf, which I really can't finance. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, I will continue to learn and grow and hone my craft. One of the challenges of being an independent filmmaker also is, it's hard to just have one title. You're not just producer, you're not just director. Especially when you get on set, you have to really roll up those sleeves
Yeah.
and do what has to be done in the best interest of the film.
Yeah.
So if you're, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, you do so and you do it with a smile because you know that when it's all over with, hopefully you'll have something that people will enjoy, and that you, when it's all said and done, have enjoyed making.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Speaking of someone who has like worn many hats, I continue to be so impressed with just how you're so involved with the community. I mean, you've been involved with Women in Film and Video, so many different organizations. Can you talk to us about your experience being part of a community and really devoting your time? You've been of service to so many different organizations. Why do you choose to do that, and what does that mean to you?
It's in my DNA. I just have a history of, grandmothers and great grandmothers on both sides who that's how I was brought up. Make sure that you give back to your community. My great grandmom was a teacher in Dawson, Georgia, and she got kicked out of the state of Georgia for trying to get Black people to register to vote. In doing so, she was sent to Indian school, if you will, in Kayenta, Arizona, where she had to teach Native kids, Indigenous kids, a curriculum that was set by the federal government. And unfortunately, by the time those kids went home, they'd forgotten their language. And it was just, but she was a hellraiser. And so, and then, my other grandmother taught. So I just suppose that it's just a part of me to teach, to educate and to make sure I wrap my arms around a community, that understanding that none of us can do this alone. I mean, you understand, Irene, that in filmmaking, it does take a village. And so that village extends to me beyond just filmmaking. It is my community. It is my day-to-day living. From you're a student of history. And I'm sure you remember that with the Kennedys, Joe would ask his kids, what have you done today for society? When they sat down at dinner, which is, at least until now, while you've had so many Kennedys of service that have tried to make the world a better place.
Mhm.
And so that's just how I feel. And I love communing with, again, like-minded people who, we're all looking to do similar things. And with us, I feel like it's our responsibility because those who came before us did it for us. So then we in turn have to do it for those who will
Yes.
come after us. And whatever that is, making a smoother path, a smoother way, a more safe place to be. You're raising a child. You know this. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. No, that's beautiful. And I hope that will encourage more people to get involved with their community. It is so fulfilling when you can give back in that way and work on something that's greater than yourself. It's truly a blessing. So I'm very inspired by the way in which you commune, the way in which you connect with people. You have this incredible ability, and I love to watch you. I like to watch you just interact with people, especially in board meetings. I do. It's fascinating. It really is. Well, thank you so much, Monda. Is there, before we give a plug for the film festival, is there
Yes.
anything else that you want to add? We have a few more minutes.
I am incredibly thankful for lovers of the arts. Nina Simone said that it is a duty of an artist to reflect the times. So we have to, in my opinion, be bold and be courageous and be brave because we help to shape what current culture, what culture looks like, right? And so, but we can't do it in a vacuum. We definitely need the support of the community in order to have the strength to keep going, if you will. There are iconic images and or media that comes out of movements. I mean, Rosie the Riveter, who
Yeah,
can forget them?
absolutely.
And just recently, there's Subway guy. Have you Subway sandwich guy? Sandwich guy. Have you, have you
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah, I mean, he's just what's going on with ICE in the District of Columbia. So, and throwing this sandwich at the federal. But I mean, that is a moment. There was a moment that is captured in time by an artist. And
That's
I
right.
just,
That's right.
I love it. But again, if Gandhi said to be the change that we want to see, we are doing that. But I am just, again, I just want to extend my gratitude towards those who continue to support us, who uplift us and help us to keep going.
Thank you so much for that, Monda. I honestly want to thank you for your time. This was encouraging, inspiring. I hope our listeners are encouraged by everything you just said. I know I'm deeply moved. I always learn something from our guests. I always learn something new, many, many new things. So thank you, Monda. And I want to just take a time. I want to take a moment to really thank our viewers, people who are tuning in. It really means a lot. We want these podcasts, these episodes to be a beautiful exchange, to just be raw. These are unrehearsed. I want you all to know that. Thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to us. Thank you for supporting our film festival. On that note, we would love to welcome you to the Chesapeake Film Festival 2025. Tickets are on sale now. Our festival is live from October 10th through the 12th in beautiful historic Easton, Maryland. And you can go to chesapeakefilmfestival.com to find all information there, including ticket information. Get your tickets. We will see you there. We have such an exciting lineup. And we would love for you to come and experience our festival. Do you want to?
Yeah, I would say that. So your film Bonobo Connection is going to be as well, and our festival director, Sid Collins, is a visual artist as well as a filmmaker. So I think we just have with our board, we have a rich tapestry of artists and communicators. And yes, Easton is amazing and surrounded by Cambridge and Easton, Cambridge, St. Michael's. It is just, you get great food,
Very good.
really nice people, and I believe that it will help. It's a balm, actually. It's a balm for healing
Mm-hmm.
because of the
Yep.
quietness. Once you cross the Chesapeake Bay Bridge,
True.
I think it heals you. So
I agree.
be ready for all that stuff when you come and visit us. We'll be happy to see you.
I love it. Wonderful. Thank you all so much. It was great talking to you. Thank you all. We'll see you at the movies.
Thank you.
Bravo.